Jamii ndogo.
My friend. Kama sisi Mount Kenya hakuna kitu.
Have the Bunge towers open.
The building was designed by Moses the building has been built by China together with the light here. Okay. On the 23rd floor we have a restaurant, and then we have a gym. The floor has a club. There was a gym in the basement. So we took the shield. The shield is a symbol of freedom, so it's a symbol of the
digital library. Remember, the Parliament Library was established way back in 1910, and its aim was to cater for information needs for the members of Legislative Council, what used to call Legico. Your Excellency, the library has about 50,000 documents. That is in line with the Parliamentary Service Commission Strategic Plan 2019-2030, because we want... Just touch it. Yes. Again, touch it. Yes, it's opening now. Okay, now let us go to National Assembly, and we want to see what we have in our system. That is in our answer at National Assembly. Yeah, click there. Yes.
Into a well-deserved retirement. Mr. Speaker, I had the privilege of serving in the 8th Parliament when the President was the leader of the opposition. And I was then age 31 when I first came into this house. It was a statement made by the President.
Yeah, that is some of what we have in the answer. Maybe can you go to the Deputy President and see what he did while he was in the Parliament?
Hello, how are you?
So this is an ideal reception for Fatu, this is your office.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. How are you? CNN.
Yes.
How are you? What are you doing?
This is not for Kinamoha. Yeah, I'm Missouri. You want to? Yes. Sorry.
Yes, same size. Some are bigger than this, and
Your Excellency, we will demonstrate how the committees work. After we do the parliamentary prayer, we introduce
the UDA party and a member of this committee.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Okiwa Mtoto Koichi, the Senator of the Republic of Kenya from...
You as Parliament, after passing your responsibility as legislators, and get us moving with the next phase of...
There is no doubt that we've spent huge resources here, and let me say, in other words, our employer, the people of Kenya, have gone to great lengths to implement their end of the civic contract that exists between us and them. Consequently, as members of parliament, you have a moral and constitutional obligation to reciprocate the sacrifices the people of Kenya have made by intensifying your efforts both individually and collectively as parliament in order to render a strong contribution to the deepening of Kenya's democracy, expanding freedoms, entrenching the rule of law, and achieving economic transformation in the responsibilities that you have. Parliament has the cardinal responsibility to make sure that the resources people of Kenya put at the disposal of government is used as it was intended, and that it is not stolen, it is not misappropriated, it is not abused, and Parliament has a central place. And Mr. Speaker, I look forward to working with Parliament in making sure that the executive is held to account. When I made a commitment that members of the executive will come to Parliament so that you can interrogate them, so that you can ask them questions, so that you can hold them to account. And I am very happy that that process has taken off. Mr. Speaker, I expect to see more of engagement between the executive and the legislature by way of making sure that the public is well informed of government policy by members of my executive coming to Parliament to answer questions, to expose government policy, coming to Parliament to explain to members development projects and programs, coming to Parliament to account for actions of my administration. I also want to say that you can count on our support because you have already demonstrated that every piece of legislation we bring, every piece of policy that we bring, Parliament has always gone out of its way to input, to inform, to enrich, to amend sometimes, and to make it better. In my mind, I have no doubt whatsoever that the resources that we have allocated for this Parliament to have the requisite infrastructure, capabilities for members of Parliament who are the people's representatives to discharge their responsibility and mandate is actually resources very well spent. And that is why it is my pleasure this morning to celebrate the culmination of a highly symbolic development project, which is a significant milestone on the Kenya Parliament's historic journey of growth as a national institution of critical importance. There is no doubt that the government has invested a great deal of public resources to provide our legislators with modern and high-quality amenities to enable them discharge their functions. And I speak against the background laid by the Honorable Speaker here. When I was first elected as a member of parliament in 1997, 1998, there was no office for any member of parliament here. And we became the first occupants, I think, after about 2 years, under the leadership of Speaker Kaparo, to occupy the building at Continental House. And it had many challenges, but it was a great improvement from us working from our private offices or from the parking lot in our cars. And because, members, you now have, according to your own admission, world-class facilities, we expect, and the people of Kenya expect, world-class representation, world-class legislation, world-class oversight. And looking at the facilities, and I tested them this morning, the committee spaces, in the offices themselves, you have now no reason, forget excuse, you have no reason not to give us and the people of Kenya the best of what you can do as our legislators. And I have no doubt that the quality of debate, having opened the library, and each member of parliament having some research people to work with, that the quality of debate, the quality of representation of legislation is going to greatly improve. And Mr. Speaker, if there is anything the Kenya government can do additionally to equip our members of parliament so that they can discharge their very central responsibility to the people of Kenya, I will spare no effort in working with you to make sure that it is done. You can count on our support because you have already demonstrated that every piece of legislation we bring, every piece of policy that we bring, Parliament has always gone out of its way to input, to inform, to enrich, to amend sometimes, and to make it better. I want to report to you that all the programs that we brought to Parliament and you have graciously passed, whether it is the housing program, I want to report to you that 140,000 young people around Kenya today are working in our housing program, people who are not working the previous year. I also want to report to you that we are finalizing our universal health care program that has been in the works for the last almost 15 years. And I want to commit to Parliament that because you have given us the legislative framework, you have given us the regulatory arrangements, we will make sure that that program goes forward and benefits the people of Kenya. The biggest beneficiaries of our universal health care program are members of Parliament. How so? The people in the WhatsApp groups raising money for this person and that person and the other person who has cancer, diabetes, and the other one are members of Parliament. Members, I'm trying to lift this big burden from your shoulders. So let us work together. I think it will be good if every citizen can walk into any health facility in Kenya and walk away without making a phone call to a member of Parliament to pay their bill. It would be a most important thing. Parliament, as an institution, has no choice but to rise to the new era inaugurated by the opening of the Bunge Towers and deliver rigorous, effective, and consistent representation, legislation, and oversight. This moment in the history of our socio-economic and political development demands much higher standards from our national institutions, especially Parliament. We are gathered here to affirm our capacity to deliver this institutional quality and signal to Kenyans that henceforth there will be no excuses for poor, negligent, or unattentive performance. And as has been said here by members who've spoken, there is now no more reason for extra resources to travel to hotels and to places. I don't know whether that is true. Now that we have all the facilities here, the meeting rooms, committee meeting rooms, I hope I will see a significant drop, Mr. Speaker, in the budget of Parliament. Yeah, it must reflect somewhere. You guys have just said yourselves. Yeah, and the taste of the eating is of the pudding is in there. Yeah. So as you appropriate the next budget, just remember that Parliament does not now need money to go to hotels, and therefore the budget should come down. I am confident that every member of Parliament is up to the task and can deliver beyond expectations. I have no hesitation, therefore, in expressing my very strong expectation that this and future parliaments will satisfy our nation's demand for excellent service from its public servants. I wish you all success as you serve the nation from your new offices in Bunge Towers and look forward to a stronger, positive collaboration in actualizing the aspiration of the people of Kenya. This building, ladies and gentlemen, therefore, is a towering monument of every citizen's legitimate expectation that in return for their unstinting support, their leaders will apply themselves in a responsible, conscientious, patriotic, accountable, and honest manner to protect, uphold, and enhance the security, freedom, and prosperity of every citizen of the Republic of Kenya. In conceptualizing and building Bunge Towers, Parliament and the Executive were able to collaborate effectively and deliver a project of such magnitude in exemplary harmony. This building, therefore, symbolizes the power, partnership, and cooperation between arms of government to solve large-scale problems, transcend challenges, and achieve monumental positive impacts. It is an excellent demonstration that the bottom-up economic transformation agenda will be implemented on time if every arm of government gives it a chance, and if we are able to reach out in the spirit of goodwill, solidarity, and commitment to the values that unite all of us, irrespective of our political persuasions, regions, faiths, and other considerations. This building is not a monument to extravagance or grandeur in the service of vanity. It is not intended to symbolize entitlement or impunity in the sense of the ability of legislators to appropriate and expend public resources without accountability. That is not what it is. Rather, it should be a symbol of our sense of public duty, constitutional obligation, national values, and devotion to the national interest. When you look at this building and the magnificence of this building, it should remind you that you have a constitutional responsibility to the people who elected you and to the great country that we all belong.
The promulgation of the new constitution in 2010 gave birth to a new political dispensation in our country, which radically altered our engagements in our socio-economic and political spheres. Notably, it redefined political representation by introducing a new model featuring a devolved system of governance and reverted to a bicameral parliament comprising the Senate and the National Assembly. Consequently, our legislature witnessed a rise in the number of members as the re-established Senate brought in 67 senators, 47 of them elected by counties and 20 nominated to represent different interest groups. The National Assembly, too, was not left out, as more honorable members came on board, swelling its ranks from an initial 224 to the current 349, a notable inclusion being the 47 women representatives. Inevitably, Your Excellency, this increase in number of legislators occasioned an unprecedented surge in demand for office space for members and their support staff, compelling Parliament to seek additional space. This necessitated the renting of premises within Parliament, Parliament Square, and the CBD at large to mitigate the situation. Over the years, this has proved to be counterproductive, as it has saddled Parliament with an annual rent bill that has since soared to 400 million. This predicament fully justifies the need for an office block that not only presents a centralized work environment with all essential amenities easily within reach, but also meets the standards of a modern workstation ideal for our legislators, while curtailing further expenditure on rent. This is what Bunge Tower is, a game changer for Parliament and the Kenyan community. Bunge Tower symbolizes progress in the development of public institutions in our republic. Indeed, we do acknowledge the effort by the Parliamentary Service Commission in ensuring that the structure incorporates modern building technologies and environmentally sustainable practices that showcases Kenya's advancement in green building and promoting energy efficiency. This demonstrates our appreciation of the reality of climate change, which has emerged as one of the most pressing global challenges. The modern facilities available in this building, among them the library, gymnasium, committee rooms, and other essential amenities, provide conducive environment for members of Parliament and the Parliamentary Service Commission staff, and promises to enhance their work output. For the Senate, Your Excellency, Bunge Tower bears additional significance in being the latest milestone in a remarkable journey of improving facilities and workstation for members, both for plenary and committee activities. Thanks to the support by the Exchequer, honorable senators now sit in a modern chamber with a capacity for 80 members, a commendable progress from the modest presence they occupied first at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, and later at the County Hall. Your Excellency, as I conclude, allow me to reiterate that the completion of Bunge Tower undoubtedly instilled in us a sense of pride and ownership, symbolizing our collective investment in the future of this country. It stands out not only for the beauty it adds to the Nairobi skyline, but for its outstanding features that have been of great interest to visiting delegations and school teams on learning tours. Without doubt, this will continue to bolster the image of Parliament of Kenya as an institution and as a destination for benchmarking for other parliaments in Africa and beyond. This is a big plus for our nation.
We come here today, Your Excellency, with a lot of pride and gratitude to the government for financing this project, and for your government particularly for ensuring that this project is completed, because I can't count the number of times you have been asking me, hiyo nyumba itakwisha lini? Hiyo nyumba tutafungua lini? Today is that great day, siku ya watenzi wote. Today, as we open this building, honorable members, I want to join the honorable minority leader, Wandai, to allay the skeptics who have been pouring vitriol on the structure, the rejectionists, and many others who have been saying many things. This building is here. We will use it, and it will serve the purpose for which it was meant. I want, on behalf of the Parliamentary Service Commission and the entire Parliament fraternity, to give you a firm assurance that Parliament will do its bit. Parliament will oversight your government. Parliament will appropriate resources for your government. Parliament will pass good laws to give meaning to your transformative agenda for the country, the Republic of Kenya, that you have embarked on. And above all, Parliament will be a partner in fostering security, stability, and unity of our country. I told our members as I finish, Your Excellency, from the restless North Rift, that it cannot be only the firepower of the police that will restore peace in those areas. That our members of parliament from those counties, Baringo, West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, Samburu, Laikipia, Turkana, must go to the ground and engage the ordinary people. Our young people who are causing mayhem are the people who vote for you. Go back and talk to them and make it easier for our people to live together, to love each other, and to be patriotic, and to know that the pain of one Kenyan is the pain for all Kenyans.
Kwanza ni shukrani zetu kubwa sana kwa niaba ya makamishna wenzangu wa Parliamentary Service Commission kumshukuru Raisi wa Jamhuri ya Taifa hili la Kenya, na niweze kumwambia ya kwamba leo umeweka historia, kwa sababu jumba hili lilianzishwa miaka ya nyuma kulipokuwa na utawala wa maraisi wengine, lakini Mwenyezi Mungu na mipango yake, kumbe ilikuwa ni Daktari William Samoei Ruto aweze kuweka historia ya kufungua jumba la kifahari, jumba ambalo limechukua modeli ya kisasa, ya kitaifa, ya kiulimwengu. Tunashukuru sana wale wote ambao walishiriki katika njia moja ama nyingine ili kuwezesha wabunge waweze kupata mazingira mazuri ya kuweza kufanya kazi ya mwananchi, kwa sababu tunajua wabunge wanafanya mambo ya sheria, pia wabunge wanafanya ile tunaita oversight, na pia ile tunaita uwakilishaji, representation. Kwa hivyo mpaka sasa, mbali ya kuwa tumeweza kukomboa taifa letu, kupunguza mambo ya utumiaji wa fedha, manake tumeona kila wakati rais anasema lazima to minimize expenditure. Kwa hivyo nimeona wazungumzaji wa mbele wamesema kweli tutakuwa tumesave pesa nyingi sana ambazo tungeweza kwenda kwenye mahoteli ama kukodisha sehemu nyingine kuweza kuendeleza kazi zetu kama wabunge wa taifa la Kenya. Tunakushukuru sana Raisi, na tunakuombea Mungu, na tunakuomba pia uzidi kutupatia support ili exchequer wakitupatia release, ili bunge litaweza kung'ara vile ulivyoliona, utakuja kuliona limebadilika zaidi, kwa njia ambayo yeyote atakayekuja Kenya for benchmarking ama kujua wa Kenya wanaendeleza vipi kazi za mabunge, wote watafurahi.
This building, in my view, has tremendously elevated the status of Parliament. Tremendously elevated the status of Parliament. And with an elevated status comes with elevated expectations, comes with elevated scrutiny, comes with elevated competition. The second thing I want to say, Your Excellency, is that you have always taken the issue of Parliament very seriously. And indeed, it is your government that has created the first State Department of Parliamentary Affairs. We have never had a State Department of Parliamentary Affairs before, but in your government, you saw it fit to take the issues around the legislature very seriously, and in the process created this State Department to provide liaison and better understanding and cooperation with Parliament. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate this big day, let us acknowledge that we have to work as a team. There's no option. And if you do anything otherwise, it will be at the peril of the country, and that should not happen.
Let me take this opportunity to ask the members of the two houses. We have several programs of government that we really need your support. And by the way, let us say thank you for your support of our legislative agenda. The budget is on the way, the supplementary budget is on the way. Please continue supporting our agenda so that we can serve the people of Kenya better. We have two programs that I want to ask for your support. We have a program on drug and substance abuse that we are fighting, that the president has directed me to lead a multi-agency team to make sure that we protect our people, our young people, the productive population from drugs. When we hold forums with our security agencies and our administrators, we do normally invite you as leaders to come so that we work together. Please, we'll be having some forum in Garissa, another one here in Nairobi, another one in Kisii, another one in Kakamega. When we do invite you, please do come so that together we can make decisions. And let me confirm for the avoidance of doubt that this administration under President William Ruto has tremendous respect for elected leaders across the political divide. The president is so persuaded that the contribution of elected leaders in terms of governance is critical. So when we do call upon you to come and engage with us in the national government, please always come.
I also want to tell you, as a former member of parliament, that I know and I understand the challenges that we all face as leaders, and progressively we must work in collaboration together to overcome those challenges and to better serve the people of Kenya. Let me persuade you on three very important things. I want to thank Parliament for amending the NCGTF Act so that today we can use resources under that program in developing ICT hubs. It is my expectation that in the next 3 to 4 months, ICT hubs should be up and running in every ward in Kenya. And I want to persuade members of Parliament to work with us on this program. The other program that I want to persuade you on us working together is the program on export of labor. We are currently working on bilateral labor agreements so that we can provide a framework for more Kenyans to find job opportunities across borders. It is my intention that in the next 5 to 7 years, we should increase our diaspora remittances from $4 billion to $10 billion. It is doable, and it will go a long way in making sure that more and more Kenyans have incomes that support the growth of our economy. This is what we must do deliberately, intentionally, because we have a huge backlog of millions of young people out of school, out of college, out of university, who expect us to create opportunities for them through government intervention, government programs, and us providing an environment for the private sector to create jobs for our young people.
A number of things have been said about this project in the public. But I must also confirm that in the 12th Parliament, I was privileged to chair the Public Accounts Committee. And I was also in that committee with my good friend, Honorable Aden Duale, and he's here, and Honorable Makau, the commissioner. At no one time were we able to establish any form of impropriety, because we were able to look at the books of accounts for the PSC And therefore, Your Excellency, I want to allay any fears that could have been there, that perhaps this project has been shrouded in some form of mystery or corruption. And therefore, for this project, Your Excellency, if I were to be asked, I would give it a clean bill of health. And therefore, for us as members of parliament, I think we are privileged. In this part of the world, I must say actually in the entire Africa, no parliament has got this kind of facility. I can tell you. We have been able to go across the continent and beyond. A number of parliaments, even in the Western world, lack this kind of facility. And therefore, we must actually pat ourselves on the back as a country, first and foremost, and also as a parliament.
This building fills us with a lot of nostalgia. I have been a member here, and we used to joke that when the building is done, we should call it the Mirage, because it kept moving. You know, it was a moving target that we couldn't see where to get to. But truly, this is Kenya House. Your Excellency, our constitution is clear about the place of parliament. That since all Kenyans cannot fit in one room, that we divide ourselves, if you look at Article 89, into as equal as possible constituencies to have somebody to represent us. This is Kenya House. This is where the people of Kenya, you know, actually congregate through the elected representatives. I'm very proud of the work done over the years. I want to congratulate the Commission. Honorable Kingola has forgotten to mention the work we've done together to do this entire square, you know, in 2 months, Your Excellency. If you look at the cabro, if you look at the trees, the garden. But now there's not a problem, but an opportunity that has been transferred to me. Because with the tunnel, all these people are coming to City Hall, Your Excellency. If they cannot wait for their members here, they will come, and I'll be very happy to host them at City Hall because they can come in.
This is a parliament with the best infrastructure. Now, members of parliament, Your Excellency, will go through the tunnel. And those of you who went to the US Capitol Hill, US Congress, exactly the same tunnel. So our standard is that standard of the US Congress, the Capitol Hill. I want to thank the Speaker of the National Assembly, who is the chairman of the PSC, and the Speaker of the Senate, and the members of PSC, and the leadership, the 2 clerks, and all my former colleagues of this House for at least coming to the conclusion that this building must be used by our parliamentarians and by the staff of Parliament. Your Excellency used to come to a committee, but I think now we have a better committee rooms. At least I can confess for the first time as a Minister for Defense, I was grilled by Honorable Koech, the Chairman of Defense, about 2 weeks ago. So this is good for Kenya, and on behalf of all my colleagues, I want to thank you